So apparently we have some change in the summer winter time, and therefore the futures market is already open. It is actually 11 p.m. my time, so I was actually starting to begin the stream and have a bit of an intro, but we're live, and you can see here we're actually live on the futures as well. So we have a few weeks now until we go back to summertime, where yes, indeed, we will be having like 3 weeks worth of what's it called, like different time zones, or when the U.S. market, for me at least, is opening a little bit sooner. Hey Scott, I haven't checked yet. Mine, it's gonna be, yeah, that's cool. Oil up, ooh, 14%. Jesus, that is so bad. This is gonna sting, boys and girls. Yeah, at least from the look of things after 8 minute worth of trading. This could sting. But yeah, it's up how much? 16% now. Jesus Christ. Yeah, that's quite a lot, isn't it? That is quite a lot. %. Yeah, you're gonna see a lot of. What about the? Let's add in the what's it called? NQ. Yeah. Because this we can should also be live. Yeah, I think. Not yet. Is it the NDX then? Or I can't remember. There is a futures. Or maybe it's delayed, I don't know. So let's dive in here. Just gonna set it all up here because all of a sudden we're very, very busy. Eight people in. Yeah, I'm glad you got it, D-Reg. It's actually the third time that I had to delete one and then add it again. For whatever reason, so I don't know. And I even need to upload the video I did here before the open again. It caught me a bit off guard with the whole time zone thing. So, yeah, gold down. Again, it's 8 minutes of trading, so let's see. How has everyone's weekend been? I'm sorry for the very messy start here. Very messy. I'm gonna do the silver gold ratio. I think that's so key. Look at that. That's the wrong direction, ladies and gentlemen, at least for now. The wrong direction. At least for now. Let's see. Again, have you seen or heard anything, news-wise with the whole war and all that? I haven't, what's it called? Seen much because I've actually been off the screens a lot. It has been perfect, spring weather and all that. So I've decided not to do, sitting in front of the screen and, So what happened? Let me know. Let me know in the chat. The double support is holding. Again, this is very short term, 5 minute, but it's the double support we have. You can see the double support. I'm gonna remove the Bollinger Band. Lower end needs to hold. We have the upper here, the prior triangle. So it's nice that I don't have to get to bed that late. Bit of a flag as well. So let's see here if this is just the initial flush. You can see. So yeah, how many are we? 17 already. Cool. That's good. Again, ask questions and all that beautiful stuff. And everything seems to be working. A new leader, his son, okay, so more of the same, I guess. Oil, only 18% out of the gate. Okay, cool. That's a huge gap, no? On oil. You can see here that was some big, again. Just did an update, you know, saying that 90 to 92 is a big level for resistance, but right now things doesn't matter, right? So I could see that when things calm down a little bit, that will get filled. I'm not going to put any money on it, but I wouldn't be surprised by any means that we're going to see this gap getting closed, you know, at some point in time. Forced buying heavily. So yep, it did. We even did the overlay on the on platinum and oil a few times, you know. They are very much aligned. If that's the case, we're gonna see like can we do the bar chart just to have an idea? What did platinum do from the lowest point before breaking out? And then we're gonna go back to oil and have a look. Bit difficult because things were a little bit different, but again, this is done so quickly you have no idea. I don't know. Doesn't match, so. But I think that's getting close at some point in time. When things cool down a little bit. If it does. Good. But yeah, oil and platinum very much, you know, not day by day, you know, but very much one-to-one across the board. So, should we do the overlay? Sure. Why not? Why not? Something we've done quite a while, to be fair. Oh yeah. Again, this is done quickly, but I think you get the idea, right? And that is platinum. Now oil comes as well. So, yeah, yes indeed. CLF, is that Calic? Let's do CLF here before we look into the. I assume. Yeah, that one hurts. It had very good potential. Wow. Go away. Yeah, it seems to be hurting right now. I think all this stuff has failed. This was steel. And actually, you know, the SID also got hit quite hard last week. So now it's back to the to this important stuff here. So yeah, got hurt pretty bad. That was a neckline that I'm kind of liked, but as you can see here, we did a violation once, and we've done it again. So, aye. 20%. Yeah, this is insane, Sean. A good spot to add more IPI did well. Yes, indeed. Don't have anything on here. Just breaking here. Just breaking there. So long term, this goes medium, whatever. You know, 3 years. That's quite good. 36 was the ad, and I was sitting at 42. So maybe drop down, you know, to the 15-minute and look for entries. Also some gaps there as well, which I assume would be last week. Yeah. So yeah, it is very bullish, absolutely. And I think this is gonna go back to 55 or so. But entry right now, no. Again, are you totally wrong for buying now? Long term, probably not. But ideal after a 20% move? No. Or 30%. But a 20% pop in oil, that is sick. You don't see that every day, do you? You really don't see that every day. So glad for so many people to join. It's nice. Just chilling on a Sunday afternoon. 1 minute charts, maybe a bit too frisky. Oh, that is actually... Oh, it is interesting what's happening here short term. Let me explain. This was the bit of a bull flag we had. But it broke down, as you can see there. I need to go to the 15-minute, right? This is a poor view from my side. There it is. There it is. This was some sort of a bull flag actually happening, but we broke down. And ever since, we have basically gone sideways for 4 days. We're trying to get out now. Holding here at the blue. But again, let's see what happens. I'm not going to do any predictions. Right now it looks a bit strong to the downside. So yeah, I think they moved a lot of the big battleships, right? Big hangars and such. Yeah. Big hangars. What do we have on that? I hate that wick, from the COVID stuff. Again, in a normal world, nothing is normal right now when it comes to oil. Again, we should see some sort of easing off here at this legacy. Where are we? Where are we? At this legacy, important wedge, 2014. We should see some, but who knows? Who the hell knows right now? And now this one comes into play also very quickly. I didn't even manage to update, the lines that now becomes important. So initial reaction a little bit, but again, for oil right now, I'm not going to do any conclusions at all, other than long-term immensely bullish. But I think once things calm down, hopefully for humanity and all that, we will see some sharp, moves down again. But the long-term trend is set now. The long-term trend is set. I was actually looking at, if we get up to here on my momentum indicator at roughly 100% above the 200-day week. Again, in a normal world, that would be a place to look to sell. But this is not normal, so who knows? Who knows? Who the hell knows? Now, that one we didn't even have the chance to put on, because who thought we would be there? Again, the long was down here, and now we're there. I've probably never seen such a move before. This is the biggest commodity, basically. At least the most important. So, yes, gold and silver has my eye right now, and now we're gonna zoom into the 15-minute. I know a lot of things is happening here, but this is my take. And being completely honest, you know, the break of that little wedge here, this was back in February, mid-February. I said that's the low. You're not gonna see, you know, silver and gold prices going much slower. The bottom is in. But you can see here, if we start to break down from this little triangle here, and then, you know, like a 1 month trend line, I'm likely to be incorrect on that call. I think that will generate too much selling. So we shall see if that is still the case. For now, it's still holding, but in these days, you know. If we, however, can start to trade, it might be a, you know, right now it looks a little bit grim, doesn't it? But if we can start to clear the triangle and start to trade north here, then I think the worst is over. Meaning we're going to do the right shoulder, and then we will actually target that little high there. Seems like a long shot now, but who knows? That is still my stance. So now this is the silver to gold ratio. I'm using silver to gold. So a lower gold silver ratio would, yeah, lower long-term gold silver, absolutely. Same thing with the silver to gold. We're going to go much higher long-term. Much higher. Absolutely. And yes, the gold silver ratio will go down. Let's do what people are more used to. Again, this is the big one. We tagged it to perfection there with the high in February. So when that breaks, you will see that 50-year 1, 2, 3 breakdown, right? So, but yes, long term absolutely, but short term, maybe, yeah, maybe not, right? You can see here it has vibes of bear flagging, right? So, which will result us into do quite a big drop. Quite a big drop, yeah. So platinum, typically platinum is a good, I would say, leader, you know. I like to look at platinum because it's more honest compared to gold and silver. So I have so much stuff going on here. You can see here still down 3%. So. Which again for platinum, we really want that to move up. You know, this is short term. Wheat, yeah, it's very bullish wheat. Very wheat. I can't spell them. What's the ticker for wheat? Is it? I have it here. There it is. So yeah, absolutely. Look at this. A wedge that we have been waiting for quite a while. Long, at around 560, and it has been my view, you know, as while we were in here, my view was if we break, and likely when touching that trend line, we're going to go back to the highest. And you know, this is a 10-year projection in my view, and I don't think I will be too far off. Meaning, you know, wheat to do 5x or so over 10 years. I don't think that's... again, this is drawn quickly, remember. But absolutely, wheat is... Again, buy every pullback, every bullish consolidation on the daily maybe, or the 2-hourly. So... But yeah, that is the start here. Let's say we do something like this. We're going to go back to these highs here, where we are now. Right, maybe a little pullback and break, and that could be an entry. Maybe you get a bull flag as well to confirm. Let's see. OYH. Still looks fine to me. Yeah. I mean, this is, of course... Let's do the weekly. I'm still very bullish on OIH. Maybe not in the near term. Again, if we're gonna have oil at the same prices, when the US market is going to open. This is likely to pop heavily, right? But the short term, we don't really care. We're very bullish on OIH. That little, you could call it a very skewed head and shoulder breakout. Sure. I think we're going to go to 530-ish. And then, of course, if we can break this 20-year maniac there, all bets are off. So, yeah. Yeah, fertilizers, potash. I even saw one here that was kind of sick, if I can spell it correctly. Fertilizers. I just used yours. US, this one here. Again, I don't know how it's tracked or anything, what it does, but again, depending on how you draw this, again, I don't really care. I think this one is extremely interesting. Again, done quickly, right? We're about to break some stuff here. This is like 4 years. That is, look at that, right? It doesn't take much. Like maybe, how much do we need here? We need like, 5%-ish. Whatever and how this NASDAQ US benchmark fertilizer index, what it does, I don't know. But that is very bullish, absolutely. I agree. And potash, yeah, sure. Agriculture, yes, indeed. We have the Moo. Moo, where are you? Isn't it Moo? Is it that? No? I think it is, no? M-U-H? M. Please help me. I know there's something with like mu. Was it like M? Yeah, there it is. Sorry. Yeah, sorry. Dope. Anyway, look at this one here. That is mu. Again, long term, very bull, and we flipped very bullish at the break of the green. And you can see here, if we get some bullish consolidation, buy into that. The tide has turned, right? This is the This is the downtrend, sideways, bottom, head and shoulder. We tagged it there, break neckline. Absolutely. It's gonna rip. It's gonna rip. Absolutely. Did we just have a lot of volume come in there on the... This was back in April, that is Trump tariffs, so I don't, go trade out off of this, but maybe we have had a bit of a volume spike here on the short term, meaning the worst could be over, but again, these times are insane, so. But that 92 there, I think that's going to be close at some point in time. I think. So let's dive in here short term with silver and gold. I'm going to look at 1 minute. Not that we care, but we're still holding. Again, this is 1 minute chart, so we can't really zoom way out, but we're trying to regain our triangle. I'm saying trying because, so we would like to see that stuff there getting taken out. I think we're gonna stay here until that breaks. Hopefully, that would be, I would say, somewhat of a good benchmark to do. You can see here the 2 hourly, huge hammer into the back of the blue, getting back above. I'm not scared yet on silver and gold, but I'm not sure anyway, if you know what I mean. It's just, but remember, the most volume comes in 1.5 hours when the East is getting online at, now it's 1 a.m., but typically it's 2 a.m. my time, so. Yeah, I think a lot of, I agree with you, Gaston. A lot of commodities will rise, metals as well, gas as well, oil, of course, will rise. And what we are seeing now, again, this is just me spitball, thinking out loud, is oil spiking heavily. We saw somewhat of a hefty demand for dollars, uncertainties, dollar rising rapidly in a short time frame. But again, we shall see. We shall see. Uranium, what your view there? I will be totally honest. I will be absolutely totally honest. I think we've seen a little bit more weakness than I initially thought. But again, you can see we started to. This might not be the best one. We started to look quite good here. That was Monday, and then you sold off the entire week. So I'm not putting, let's say, too much into it now. Still overall very, very strong. But we need to rebound, this week, in order to not lose some of these shorter term uptrends and have a decent amount of technical, yeah, again, I'm also very afraid for tomorrow, especially looking at the SPY here. Could it be tomorrow that we get the breakdown after going sideways since November? So you're talking whatever, half a year almost, which again will not be good. If we start to see big sell-offs in. And look also here at the QQQ. No matter how you put it, we're close to potential breakdowns. Potential. Yeah, that is. Oh, that one I remember. This one needs to be changed. Absolutely. You can see here we're still kind of, but I like this one more. The clear go is like $7. $7 to me. Maybe a bit lower than 6.7. And then we have this whole sideways 5-year range, and we're gonna go to 18 or something like that. So yeah, absolutely. I think this looks like it wants to do that. But I really believe so, that this is what it's going to do. Again, this is a inverse head and shoulder, but it's in a range, so the validity might not be that big, because typically you want them at, let's say, bottom structures, right? This is just within a range, so yeah. But yeah, 7.2-ish, maybe a little bit more. And this one is gonna fly for a long time. 3% dividend, that's good. TK Open. They could be open, to be fair, because I think we've just gone to like what's it called? Summertime. Not here. Oh, that looks fantastic. Oh, I love H. I really love H still. This one I want to share. I can do that easy. Yeah. H is by far one of the stronger ones. That is what is that? 5 years of bull flag. If we break on the 4th and getting above 5.5 cents. Whew. Anyway, no, I think we might open here shortly. Have we opened already? It's 1:30. So maybe. Yeah, open. Okay, thank you. Okay, it opens at midnight my time then. Cool. So let's stay up until the old midnight. Or like midnight my time now. Oil, man, 20% gap up in a day. Holy, that is so. When do we have, not looking into the COVID thing, but when did we have such a sick move? Anyone knows? Any old lookalikes, when it comes to that kind of move? What did it do there, back at the Ukrainian war? But we came off, we were already so high, so 40%. But then again, you can see here we have already rallied so far, right? So Could we check? No, we can't even do that. Yeah, sick. Oh, okay. Soil? Yeah, okay, cool. VTI, let me check here. Oh, okay, Western Texas something, yeah. Yeah, I think you've, again, what will happen here, again, no one really, again, it's difficult, but I think you've missed it for now. Right. I'm all having a hard time buying after a 60% move. Do we go higher? I think so, but the risk, where to place, yeah, I don't know. I think that entry is, if it is that one, that is. I'm just gonna be right back. 2 seconds, guys. Be right back. We're gonna do this so you can have a look at this one here meanwhile. 1 second. That is the 1 minute chart. So yep, back indeed. So you can see here, this is the main thing right now on silver. Let's make them thick. Boom. There it is. There it is. So I hope when I wake up, I'm hoping, we're gonna see 85 plus. 85 plus. I do not hope to see, below 80. So it's a rather big, big, $5, but yeah. Jan, how much money do you have? Yes, I believe I have a rather large amount. Of course, my entries were way lower. It doesn't mean that this this hurts, when we see these big drops, but heavily in the green, that's good. But yeah, the past few, ever since we topped out, late January has hurt a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, so. Yeah, I mean heavily in the green for the past 2 years. Yeah, I agree with you, John. Again, we've bought Abra very nicely. We've bought Santa Cruz fantastically. Of course, some were better than others, but Abra $2 now sitting at 14. We're down from 18, so yeah, hurt a little bit. Santa Cruz, SUP, we've bought, I can't even remember now, VRN, yeah. But yeah, it hurts, of course it does. All of a sudden, it starts to turn into some big monies, yeah, absolutely. And you just know that when the US market opens sometimes that you're going to see that minus, 0.5% straight out of the gate and likely to continue, right, during the day. So you don't really look. So you don't really look at those days. That's something that I've learned, You don't look because you will... Yeah, this... excuse me. This is what we're waiting for. That one there. Well, I don't see this as a double top because you're basically still, is it double top? Yes, but to me it's not a double top. So if you're pointing to the one from 5 years ago, it's not a double top in my view. With the emphasis. Can we draw this better? I think we can. If we take the lower ones, I think that one is probably decent. I don't know. So again, we really want to break that one on the fourth, right? Don't we? Or like, well, last month, yeah, sure, yeah, exactly. That is again, this one I would call a double top because we're looking at a lower time frame. Absolutely, yeah, that could be a double top. Absolutely. Momentum wise is also very telling. Doom. So we're still printing green, which is good, meaning we're still technically in a strong uptrend. Miners being better than gold. But you can see here that could get violated this week if we don't really start to. So. It could, yeah. See here, we might continue lower now, at least. Trying to hold. I'm just going to cheat here because I love Bollinger Bands. I really do. So yeah, this is not a good start to the week. It's not a good start to the week. No, I don't have the AGI, but I assume it's the weekly RSI is. Can we just do it on the USD? I guess. Wouldn't that give the same vibes? Then we can go to the fun little thing here and then see. I think that gives the same picture. What have you seen, Sean? Just to be again, I rarely use RSI, so can you just take that and even though you're not eligible? Oh, cool. No, that's Apple. No, nothing. No, I can't do that. I think I need to be eligible for this. I think I need to do like some sort of survey or like I don't know, in order to get that ticker, and I haven't done it. So. And also here, this is the very bearish call on silver if we are just putting on pure bear, bearish glasses, and that is the backtest of 50. The backtest of 50, the neckline, which technically has been backtested once, but we could come down for, and that would suck. That would probably sting. Yeah, that will sting. But do you buy silver there? Absolutely. Absolutely. for now, silver and gold is holding up decently. But again, in 5 quarters, 1 hour and something, we will see a lot more volume come in. So I might wake up, just randomly over the night and have a look. So this one here is the Dixie. Oh. That's the Dixie button. Oh, yeah, true. Again, the reason why I want to have this trade, above there is that bottom structure. But, yeah. Who knows? Should we check in onto coal? I haven't checked coal in quite a while. At least the, what's it called? Coal futures. The coal, oh yeah, that's... That is very good for coal. We turned the corner and now we finally broke 120, 118. Bit of resistance here, but this is the turning point for coal. Right. Could see something like that along the way, but overall that is very good for coal. So energy, again, very strong. And then we have uranium spot price, of course. Again, look at that. Energy could go to the moon here, given oil, obviously, on a rampage. Uranium spot here could be breaking some somewhat serious trend lines soon. Coal has bottomed. Gas, I would assume, is also doing... I don't know what gas is doing. This is to Europe, at least. Also early, but we are kind of like breaking a bit of a range here, so not really. So yeah, momentum typically breaks a little bit before. Typically. Oil is so strong. It can't be stopped right now, really. Wow. Or can it? Don't do that. PBR looks amazing. Yes, you again, just like a lot of commodities, and also the overall market sold off quite hard last week. So UU is just hanging in there. Would love to see a rebound here, but do I doubt it? Yes. Absolutely, I do. I think there's too much chaos here, right? Too much chaos. The Dixie is also, wow. The Dixie's up, is that live? Yeah, it is. Yeah, you can see the Dixie here as well is also gonna do some rather serious breakout soon. May 2025. That would lead to a quarter or something like that, bullish view on the Dixie, which again is never the best. No? Again, you need dollars to buy oil. So as long as oil keeps going on a rampage, the dollar will follow. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm getting tired now. I am getting tired. It looks so, it looks so heavy, right? It looks so heavy. The silver gold ratio looks so heavy. Too bad. Yeah, it looks too heavy, I think. So yeah, at least from the look of it now, embrace for Monday. I mean, yeah, I think we're fucked. But again, maybe, I don't know if this is too soon, but of course everyone is so bearish, rightfully so. But yeah, I don't know. So like a, counter indicator, what's it called? Contrarian indicator, maybe, I don't know. What's just gonna check here the Twitter to see what people are saying. Crude oil, absolutely. Because see Jake here is also mentioning, the move up here. Yeah, at the same time as well, that is quite insane. But you can see here, this was actually after oil has run from basically 0 to 110, and then the last little move there, 90, was basically the blow off top. But this one here is just getting started, I guess. So it's just getting started. So what else? Dale is also really good. Bitcoin. Again, you don't really want to see that, do you? Risk off, it seems. And that is what Bitcoin is, risk reward indicator. Yeah, oil, insane. Crypto gets hit in the head. How red is crypto? I assume it's very red. Hopefully we're all wrong and we'll be green tomorrow. I doubt it though. Oh, this one is actually, this is the 2 hourly. Again, that was the candle that Dale talked about. This is the total market cap of crypto going back to February. And we even had, that was actually quite good. The breakout, the backtest, cool. And then we were failing. Often you run to the other side and continue, right? After a false breakout. So, what are people saying? Just checking in here. Wow, 20%. That's massive. Oil, US oil, how long? This is 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. I think I would have done the trend lines a bit differently, but you get the idea, right? You get the idea that, again, 20 years, we're just getting started potentially here, and we could see, I don't know, way higher prices. How high will the WTI go by the end of the year? Right now, it's somewhat high. I think this is poly market now. No, I don't know. I do not know. gas 5%, crude. Ay. The Great Martis market update. Yeah. Yeah, the same two levels that we talked about, you know, roughly 90, and then we have here 120. I haven't checked the VIX in a while. I rarely do, to be fair. Oh, we could see some spiky stuff, no? Oh, we're gonna have another spike. Yeah, I think we are going to have another XLM. Interesting moment here coming for XLM at around 12 cents. Yeah, that's interesting. XRP, I think we're gonna go for that backtest now. I truly believe so. It had some. It actually looked somewhat nicely, but then we started to break down. You know, I think we're gonna see something like maybe, you know, $1 ish, a little lower. So they open in an hour. Yes, exactly. It is midnight now, but I'm, you know, not going on summertime for like 3 more weeks. So and before they opened at 2 a.m. and now they will open at 1 a.m. for 3 weeks. So this is silver. Yeah, we really need to undo. Again, maybe I want to show that. You see momentum here. We don't want to come down. Don't do that. We don't want to come down and start to just do that. Then I think that's likely, you know, getting hit with a big hammer. So we really want to undo this quickly and then start to trade north of that. Then I'm a lot more comfortable until something changes that view. Litecoin? Sure, why not? Litecoin. I assume it's Litecoin. I assume it is. Yeah, that is never good. Right. That's never good to see that kind of thing. This goes back to 2018. Bit of a rail breaking down here. So long term, immensely bearish. Maybe short term we could get a little bit of a move, you know, like a counter trend move, but yeah. The first major targets often is, in this case, the triangle low. So if we get down to there like 22, I'm expecting a huge bounce. PBR, oh, excuse me, I saw that, mate. I'm gonna do that. Sorry. This one here we have looked at for so long, and yes, we have bought it, and yes, we're gonna sit on our hands and do nothing. 13.5 was our latest entry, and now we're coming to the big one, which is 18. This is 20 years horizontal resistance. Right. You can see here big low, higher low, tagged again, higher low, and now I think we're about to smash that through, and yeah, that is a major buy. You can see here if we don't adjust for a dividend, it looks rather bullish. We're about to break all-time highs if you don't adjust for the dividends, right? Absolutely, that looks amazing. Looks amazing. I think this one is, again, over a 5-year period. I think we're gonna see, you know, 50 to 3 years. Again, if oil keeps going up, it will be shorter than that. But I think these highs is going to be hit, which is 55, 53 to 80. Typically, again, you can see here every time a stock pays out dividend, the price drops, and then you can adjust or not adjust. So this is adjust down here, right? So actually, if you do adjust, right, you then would have got, that would have been when you bought it, really. From a price perspective, you were basically flat, but if you add in on top the dividends, you would have made a lot of money. So, and typically I want the price to break as well before going in. That's how I do it. Sure. EC. Yeah, this is a long-term break as well. Absolutely. This is oil, right? We're long since 10. We had an internal break at roughly $10. Now we're sitting at 13 and more to come. Yeah, 9.7. You can see there, 9.7 was given. And then we have the first target, which is getting hit now, these highs. But again, we're going to go higher. So, yeah, EC and PBR. Again, probabilities and all, all those words. I think it's going to do amazing. And good dividends as well, right? I think PBR is like 6% and EC is 13. So, yeah, man, absolutely. BP is a stock that should be bought. Right here. That is a 30 years, roughly. Again, this is drawn quickly back in the day, but this is a 30-year bull flag and a 15-year. Do you have vibes of Head and Shoulder? Yes. Is it a Head and Shoulder? Maybe not, but you get the idea. No matter what, that trend line is also very important. So, I think we're going to see something like 60 getting hit over the coming months, quarters, and all that. So, okay. Just looking here again. Remember, 1 hour time frame, 1 minute time frame, we don't care. If we start to confirm below here at some point, that could be the first impulse. Then we can have a second and a third, maybe. But again, we shall see. First Majestic, okay. Okay. That one did produce some very nice numbers, absolutely. Absolutely. Long since 8 or 9, but you get the idea. Our first target was actually these highs up here. 25, 24, 25. And now we broke above, and now we're coming down for a back test. So overall, I mean, First Majestic still looks amazingly good. This is monthly time frame, by the way. Do you buy it up here? I wouldn't do that. Of course, I wouldn't do that. I think you need a longer period of resting before you go long. I think it's too aggressive to buy it there. Even though it might do that, of course. But I would need a longer period of... you can see here, this is weekly Bollinger Band. They are, very wide. Daily, maybe? No, not really. Of course, if we also see silver come down to 50, First Majestic will likely get hit as well. They will get hit, of course. So, hope for a period here of just going, do nothing, maybe. That could be, a breakout and just consolidation before the next leg up. So, yeah. Equity metals. I have a rather large position in that one. I have a big position in equity, given it's a small stock, that is. And yeah, we broke out there. You're backtesting now. Still looks okay to me. Right? That was a breakout of a 10, 15 year, you know, call it a bottom, call it whatever. Now we're flagging on top, so I like what I see, to be fair. Even though we have come down, you know, we broke out, peaked at 60 cents, and we've now been giving 50% back. That sucks, of course, but still overall happy with it. It's just sitting there. Hopefully it can remain to do so with this whole volatility thing. Momentum also looks very good, you know, still green, depending on how you draw this one. Can be done a little bit different. Yeah. So still overall good. Entry, I wouldn't buy it here, even though we're technically breakout mode, but I would wait. Why? I think you're getting a better risk reward if we, one way or the other, start to break that flag. So a break of that trend line to me would be a huge buy signal. And let's say you do it like that, you have a stop below the recent swing low, and then you just let it run, basically. So this is right now my view, and that could change, you know, down the road, but that is the backtesting moments. So yeah. Yeah, indeed. I think we have to cut it real soon. Oh, you can see there on the 1 minute, we just got close to the gap on momentum, and now we're selling off hard. Now we're getting hit. Do a low there, please. This is the silver gold ratio, which is the most key right now. So shipping, let's do shipping. Okay, cool. There is I think the rates must have spiked on the shipping rates, I assume. I assume they have absolutely shipping. No, really? No? Would you look at that? Oh, maybe that, okay, maybe that makes sense, to be fair, but okay. So these are shipping rates, you know. Some short-term, mid-term, long-term, different routes. So we are breaking out, we have broken out on shipping, but yeah, also that is getting hit hard. Makes sense, to be fair, now that I think about it. Because oil is just destroying everything. Destroyer. Destroy me. I think I will cut it at that, ladies and gentlemen. Getting a little bit of sleep. So again, I want to briefly give my view on silver. Tomorrow when waking up, but you can see it's already getting very dangerous right now. We want to see it above 85 and not below 80. But I'm, you know, depending on what happens with the Asian people, but I think they're gonna sell into it as well. So we're likely to see. Again, that is probably my take right now. 80% for a breakdown, which is rather high, yeah. So we need in 50 minutes we will have the Asian market or the Chinese gold and silver futures market come online. So they need to step in here and buy. Yeah, they're down pretty hard, absolutely. Ooh, don't do that. Yeah, that is pretty ugly. I'm not having any high hopes for tomorrow. to be fair. So I think I will leave you with that. I think it's going to be very grim tomorrow, at least by the look of things now. So it's gonna sting. It's gonna sting. So that's it. I have nothing further. Thank you guys for tuning in. 50 people. That's cool. Have a great one, guys. Cheers.